Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating, advanced, and breathtaking hypercars ever created, the McLaren P1. This isn't just a car, it's a statement of engineering mastery, a symbol of modern automotive innovation, and a machine that redefined what it means to blend performance with cutting-edge technology. Buckle up, because over the next half hour we'll explore everything from its origins to its design, performance, innovations, and lasting legacy. Let's begin with the origins. The McLaren P1 was unveiled in 2012 at the Paris Motor Show, at a time when the automotive industry was pushing boundaries in terms of hybrid technology. Competitors like Porsche and Ferrari were preparing their own hybrid hypercars, and McLaren needed something extraordinary to stand out. Drawing inspiration from their Formula One expertise and their groundbreaking McLaren F1 of the 1990s, they set out to create a hypercar that wasn't just about raw power, but about redefining the future of performance. The P1 would become part of what enthusiasts call the holy trinity of hybrid hypercars, alongside the Porsche 918 Spider and the Ferrari LaFerrari. From the very beginning, McLaren made it clear that the P1 wasn't about chasing top speed records, it was about creating the best driver's car in the world. That philosophy guided every design choice, from aerodynamics to weight distribution. Frank Stephenson, McLaren's design director at the time, envisioned a car that looked alive, almost organic, as if shaped by the forces of air itself. The result was a hypercar that looked like no other, flowing curves, active aerodynamic surfaces, and proportions that made it appear fast even when standing still. Speaking of design, the McLaren P1's shape was heavily dictated by aerodynamics. The body wasn't styled for fashion, it was sculpted for function. The car featured an active rear wing that could extend almost 30 centimeters, adjusting automatically depending on driving conditions to provide optimal downforce. In addition, the car's bodywork created channels to manage airflow, reduce drag, and maximize cooling. Every curve, every vent, and every detail was there for a purpose. This gave the P1 not only an exotic and futuristic appearance, but also the efficiency of a car honed in a wind tunnel like a Formula One machine. Now, let's talk about the heart of the beast, the powertrain. The McLaren P1 combined a twin-turbocharged 3.8-liter V8 engine with an electric motor. On their own, the petrol engine produced around 727 horsepower, while the electric motor added an additional 177 horsepower. Together, they delivered a combined output of 903 horsepower and 900 newton-meters of torque. That's nearly 1,000 horsepower going to the rear wheels. This hybrid setup wasn't just for efficiency. It was designed to eliminate turbo lag, deliver instant torque, and enhance performance in ways a conventional engine couldn't. Performance numbers for the P1 were astonishing. It could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds, reach 124 miles per hour in under 7 seconds, and 186 miles per hour in just 16.5 seconds. The top speed was electronically limited to 217 miles per hour. But what made the P1 truly remarkable wasn't just the raw speed, it was the way it handled. The instant response of the electric motor, combined with the ferocity of the twin-turbo V8, created a driving experience unlike anything else. It wasn't about numbers on paper, it was about connection, sensation, and absolute thrill behind the wheel. Another fascinating aspect of the McLaren P1 was its ability to run in all-electric mode. Thanks to its lithium-ion battery pack, the P1 could travel up to 19 miles on electric power alone. While that might not sound like much, it was a bold move for a hypercar of its time. It meant you could silently cruise through city streets, only unleashing the beast when you wanted to. McLaren also introduced special driving modes, such as E-mode for pure electric driving. Sport for spirited performance, track for maximum capability, and race mode where the car lowered itself by 50 millimeters, stiffened its suspension, and transformed into something resembling a Le Mans prototype for the road. Speaking of race mode, let's dive into the suspension system. The McLaren P1 featured an incredibly advanced suspension setup called Race Active Chassis Control. This system could adjust ride height and stiffness on the fly, delivering comfort when cruising and razor-sharp precision on the track. The hydraulic suspension replaced traditional anti-roll bars, allowing for far greater adaptability. In race mode, the car hunkered down, increasing down force to a massive 600 kilograms, ensuring it could corner at astonishing speeds without losing grip. This was Formula One technology adapted for a road car, making the P1 feel like a track weapon, no matter where you drove it. Braking was another area where McLaren pushed boundaries. The P1 was fitted with Akebono carbon ceramic brakes that were developed with NASA technology. The discs used a silicon carbide coating, making them stronger, more heat-resistant, and more effective than traditional carbon ceramics. Stopping power was extraordinarily necessary for a car capable of such insane speeds. Combined with regenerative braking from the electric motor, the system allowed the P1 to harness and reuse energy while providing confidence-inspiring stopping distances. The interior of the McLaren P1 was a masterpiece of minimalism and purpose. Every element was designed for the driver. There were no unnecessary luxuries or distractions, just lightweight materials and racing-inspired controls. The cabin used exposed carbon fiber for weight savings, Alcantara for grip, and purposeful ergonomics to keep the driver focused. The instrument cluster was fully digital, changing its display depending on the driving mode. In race mode, for example, the tachometer dominated the screen, keeping your focus on engine speed and performance. It was a cockpit built for one thing: driving at the limit. Production of the McLaren P1 was extremely limited. Only 375 units were built, each one hand-assembled at McLaren's facility in Woking, England. This exclusivity instantly made the car a collector's dream. Buyers were carefully selected, and customization options allowed each car to be unique. Many P1 South were delivered in striking color schemes, often showcasing McLaren's heritage. Today, the rarity and historical importance of the P1 make it one of the most sought-after hypercars on the market, with values far exceeding their original price tag. The McLaren P1 wasn't just about straight-line speed or exclusivity, it was about setting benchmarks. It lapped the Nürburgring in under 7 minutes, although McLaren never released the exact time, preferring to let the car's reputation speak for itself. It proved that hybrid technology could enhance performance rather than compromise it. It challenged competitors and inspired future generations of hypercars. The P1 demonstrated that the future of performance wasn't about abandoning traditional engines, but about intelligently combining them with new technologies. Now, let's place the P1 in context with its rivals. Alongside the Porsche 918 Spider and Ferrari LaFerrari, the McLaren P1 formed a trio that redefined what hypercars could be. Each had its own approach. The 918 focused on efficiency and all-wheel drive grip. The LaFerrari leaned on raw Ferrari passion and naturally aspirated V12 power, while the P1 embodied McLaren's Formula One-derived philosophy of aerodynamics and driver focus. Enthusiasts still debate which was the greatest, but most agree that the P1 offered the purest, most visceral driving experience of the three. The legacy of the McLaren P1 continues to influence McLaren's lineup today. Cars like the McLaren Speedtail and the Artura build on the lessons learned from the P1's hybrid systems. More importantly, the P1 proved that hybrid hypercars could captivate enthusiasts and collectors alike, ensuring that future innovations would be welcomed rather than feared. In many ways, the P1 was a bridge between the analog thrills of the past and the electrified future of performance cars. To sum it up, the McLaren P1 is more than just a hypercar. It's a technological landmark, a piece of art, and a statement about what's possible when engineering ambition meets passion for driving. Its combination of brutal power, futuristic design, advanced hybrid systems, and unmatched driver engagement make it one of the greatest cars ever built. Even as the automotive world shifts toward full electrification, the P1 will remain a symbol of a unique era where tradition and innovation met in perfect harmony. And that wraps up our deep dive into the McLaren P1. I hope you enjoyed this half-hour journey into one of the most incredible hypercars of all time. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite detail about the McLaren P1? Do you prefer it over the LaFerrari or the Porsche 918 Spider? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like, share this video with fellow car lovers, and subscribe to the channel for more epic automotive stories. Until next time, keep the passion for cars alive.